All right, let's talk about that little mark you see all over the place in Spanish, the accent mark. A lot of people call it a tilde, and it can seem super confusing, but it's actually not. Think of it as a secret map for pronunciation, and today we're going to crack the code. You see this little slanted line floating above vowels all the time, right? And it can feel totally random. Is it just there for decoration? Is it some impossible grammar rule? I promise you, it's neither. It's actually way, way simpler and a lot more helpful than you probably think. That's exactly right. Instead of some rule you have to painfully memorize, think of it as a friendly signal, a little hint. It's a secret code that literally tells you exactly how to say a word out loud. And once you learn this code, you're never going to have to guess at Spanish pronunciation again. Okay, so here is the single most important idea for this whole thing. Every single word in Spanish has what we're going to call the beat of the voice. It's just that one part of the word, one syllable, that you say a little bit louder, a little stronger. You know, like in English, we have photograph versus photograph. That emphasis, that's the beat. And that little accent mark is basically a spotlight, showing you exactly where the beat is. So how do we know when to use an accent? Well, there's a simple process, and we always start with rule number 1. I call it the vowel clash. If a word follows this one rule, you put the accent on and that's it. You're done. No other steps needed. Now, the secret to this first rule is just knowing that Spanish vowels are split into 2 teams. You've got the weak vowels, I and U, and you've got the strong vowels, A, E, and O. Seriously, just remembering this one little thing is the key that makes everything else just click into place. Okay, so here's the rule itself. It's just a simple 3-step check. First, you look for a weak vowel right next to a strong one. Second, when you say the word, does that beat of the voice land right on the weak vowel? If you answered yes to both of those questions, then step 3 is a no-brainer. That weak vowel always gets an accent mark, every single time. No exceptions. It's really that easy. Let's look at a perfect example. Policía. See that E right next to the A? That's our weak vowel clashing with a strong one. And where's the beat? Policía. It's right on the E. So because that beat falls on the weak vowel during the clash, it absolutely has to have that accent. Here's another one, super clear. Tía. Again, you've got the weak E right next to the strong A, and the beat is on the E. Tía. So bam, it gets the accent. You're starting to see the pattern, right? And this just shows you it works with U as well. Check out the word baúl. Here, the weak U is next to the strong A. The stress is baúl. So that U gets the accent. Now, if a word fits this vowel clash rule, you're all set. But what if it doesn't? Okay, so if a word doesn't have a vowel clash, we just move on to the next step, which is checking its normal behavior. See, Spanish has 2 default patterns for where that beat of the voice is supposed to fall. This chart pretty much lays out those 2 default settings. It's simple. If a word ends in a vowel, or an N, or an S, the beat is normally on the second to last syllable. Think of casa. But if it ends in any other consonant, the normal beat is on the very last syllable, like in papel. These are just the standard, predictable ways that most words work. So, if those are the normal patterns, what is the accent's main job? Well, its number 1 job is to be a big, bright flag. It marks the words that don't follow those normal patterns. It marks the rebels, the rule breakers.
I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. The accent accuses a word of being different. It's like a little signal that shouts, hey, pay attention to me. I don't follow the normal pronunciation pattern you were expecting.
Let's see this in action and makes it so clear. Take the word gasa. It ends in a vowel, a, so the stress is normally on the second to last syllable. Ga, sa. Totally normal. No accent needed. But now look at sofa. It also ends in a vowel, but the stress is on the last syllable, so fa. See, it's breaking the rule. So we accuse it with an accent to show us exactly where the stress really is. And here's the other pattern. The word papel ends in L, which isn't an N or an S. So the stress is normally on the last syllable. Papel. It's following the rule, no accent needed. But then you get a word like audible. It also ends in L, but the beat is on the second to last syllable. Audible. It's a rule breaker, so it gets that accent to tell us, hey, the beat is over here. Okay, so we've covered the vowel clash and the rule breakers. There's just one last rule, and you're going to love this one because it's the easiest one of all. Honestly, think of it as a total cheat code. That's it. That is the entire rule. If you hear the stress on the third syllable from the end of the word, it gets an accent. 100% of the time. You don't have to check what letter it ends in. You don't check for vowels. Nothing. It's completely automatic. For example, teléfono. Let's count back from the end. No, fo, le. The beat's on the third to last syllable, so it gets an accent. Simple as that. Here's another one. Océano. Let's count it back. No, hace. Yep, third to last syllable gets the beat, so it has to have an accent. And one more just to lock it in your brain. Libélula. La, lu, be. Again, the stress is on that third to last syllable. This rule will never, ever fail you. If the beat is there, the accent is there. And that's it. That's the whole system. The vowel clash, the normal patterns, and their rule breakers. And that super easy always accent rule. You now have the complete decoder ring for the Spanish accent mark. So you see, the most crucial thing to realize is that the accent isn't some arbitrary, difficult grammar point designed to make you stumble. It's a pronunciation guide. It's your friend. It's a helpful little mark that just tells you, hey, this word's a little different, and here's exactly how to say it perfectly. It's just signaling an exception to the normal rules. So from now on, when you're reading Spanish and you see that little mark, you're not going to feel confused. You're going to see a clue. You'll know the code. So my question for you is, which words are you now going to see and say with a totally new level of confidence?